Hello there, and welcome to the UK in 2019, where teenage boys, ages 14, 15-year-olds, are being stabbed to death on our streets, and the UK police can't do anything to prevent this. This is the UK police, who used to be the pride of the world, but who are now simply just an agenda-driven police force. They still do serve and protect, but unfortunately, they don't serve their paymasters, which is us, the taxpayer. They serve the politicians and their agendas. And they don't protect us, the paymasters, again, the taxpayers. They protect the politicians. Okay? They protect the politicians to the point where they actually guard them as they walk to work in the morning to save them having to answer questions from the general public, the same people who pay their wages. And they protect the minorities, and they protect people's feelings, and they protect mosques. After the Christchurch massacre a few weeks ago, Sadiq Khan ordered that all the mosques in London were offered extra police protection. He didn't issue the same order for Christian churches after the Sri Lankan massacre, did he? Of course he didn't. Now, you can't really blame individual officers because they are just doing somebody else's bidding, the people in power. And the people in power are bidding the police to concentrate on the social media, to concentrate on hate crime and hate speech, and to concentrate on the lucrative traffic crimes. Okay? And because they're concentrating on all these heinous crimes, yeah, they're too busy to solve other crimes, such as burglaries and minor assaults, and they're too busy to solve minor thefts and drive-offs from petrol stations. I read the other day how petrol stations are losing fortunes because people are driving off ever more increasingly because the police are simply not investigating the crimes. But the police did come up with a good solution. They didn't have any officers to send to service stations, so what they've done is they've put fucking cardboard cutout police officers in the windows to deter the criminals. Now, I don't know which star came up with that idea, but I sincerely hope that they received a promotion and a pay rise, and no doubt she probably did. Now, not only can the police not investigate these crimes, they're even more inept at preventing crime. They cannot prevent the knife epidemic that is sweeping Britain right now. They cannot prevent the countless numbers of muggings that are happening. They cannot prevent, and have not been able to prevent over the past 10 years, the endless amounts of rapings of young English girls. Now, the truth be told, a disproportionate amount of them crimes, of the rapes, of the muggings, of the knife crimes, are being carried out by people with different values than normal British people. And they're being carried out by young people with no respect for anything or anybody. Now, when the police actually do catch a criminal, what do they do then? They hand them over to the British justice system. Fuck me. And what happens then? More often than not, they get a ridiculously light sentence because the sentencing in the UK has become an absolute joke. Nearly all criminals convicted in the UK only serve half the sentence they are passed. I cannot understand why I live in a country where that dishes out 10-year sentences to people and releases them after 5 years regularly. I cannot get my head around that. Where's the deterrent? I'm also living in a country where one man can murder another one and still be walking the streets in 10 years' time, sometimes even less. It's shocking. The lenient sentencing in the UK is an absolute disgrace. And they blame it, a lot of it, on a lack of prison space. There's a solution. Build more fucking prisons. Yeah. And the apologists and the liberals are prevailing, yeah, in softening the UK justice system to the point where victims of crime and their families are simply being laughed at by criminals and the perpetrators of crimes against them. The truth is, UK has gone soft on crime. Okay? There's no more corporal punishment. Capital punishment has been abolished. Yeah? There isn't even any more parental discipline. Parents scared to discipline their own children for fear of retribution. You couldn't make it up. You know, and at the end of the day, the apologists and the leftists and the liberals, yeah, they've weakened the people's appetite, yeah, for proper punishments. Now there is a solution. There's always a solution to every problem. The solution to this problem is quite simple. You bring back capital punishment for the most heinous murderous crimes. You allow parents to discipline in the home. You even bring back a form of corporal punishment that cannot be abused into schools. You know, I know the opposition will scream at me, well, in the past when we had capital punishment, there was miscarriages of justice. I agree totally, yeah. But nowadays, with DNA evidence, with forensic science, yeah, with amazing fingerprint techniques, yeah, and with CCTV footage everywhere, the chances of miscarriages of justice are beyond minute, okay? And also the opposition will say, well, in the past there was capital punishment and it didn't deter murderers. Again, I agree wholeheartedly. But back then, the perpetrators knew there was a good chance they would escape detection. Nowadays, it's almost inconceivable with all the techniques and all the evidence available for anybody to escape detection for such a heinous crime, let alone the wrong person be convicted for it. Yeah. Now, the thing is, you could go even further with this. Okay, it may sound drastic, but it would be a guaranteed, surefire solution. Imagine this: instead on a Saturday night of everybody sitting around watching the nonsense that is Strictly Come Dancing, we had a 2-hour punishment show live on Prime TV. Because as we know, the UK loves reality TV. And on this punishment show, we drag out a load of convicted rapists, convicted murderers, people who've stabbed people to death, people who've raped and passed around young women for rape, people who have mugged old people and beat them to a pulp. Let's drag them out onto the stage and let the victims' families decide on their punishment. Let the murderers be murdered live on TV. Let the stabbers be stabbed live on TV. Let the rapists be raped live on TV. Okay? Now, I can just imagine liberals and lefties and apologists all over the country having seizures. Oh my God, how barbaric is this? That's just medieval, it's barbaric. Is it any more barbaric than teenagers' blood being spilt all over our cobbles? Is it any more barbaric than young teenage English girls being abused, tortured, raped, passed around among friends and family as sex slaves? Any more barbaric than that? It really isn't, you know. And I can guarantee you, after a couple of months of this TV show, the amount of crime in this country, the knife crime, the rapes, the muggings, the beating, the murders, would reduce drastically, absolutely drastically. And the only people suffering for this to happen will be the kind of evil bastards who carry out these heinous crimes that don't deserve to walk among us in the first place. Well, obviously it's never going to happen, so just a pipe dream, I suppose. So all I can say then is to the UK, look forward to an ever increasingly lawless society. Till next time, take care and be good.